It is a common misconception to think that every individual who enters your circle is there because God invited them in. The truth is, some people arrive as assignments to grow you, while others show up as obstacles to slow you down. If you have been feeling a strange friction in your relationships lately, it might not be a coincidence. It could be a divine intervention. God is very protective of your calling, and sometimes He has to clear the room so you can finally hear His voice. Here are the clear indicators that it is time to let go. The first major sign is a persistent lack of inner quiet. We often try to talk ourselves into staying in a relationship, but our spirits are already screaming for the exit. If you find yourself constantly drained, anxious, or mentally exhausted every time you interact with someone, pay attention to that. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 14:33 that our Creator is not the source of chaos, but the source of peace. When a person's presence consistently brings a storm into your life, it is a loud signal that they aren't part of God's plan for your current season. The enemy loves to use toxic connections to keep you distracted, but God uses your lack of peace to keep you protected. Another sign to watch for is a feeling of unnatural heaviness. Relationships are supposed to be a source of mutual support, not a one-way street where you are always the one being depleted. Think of it like this. If you are trying to run a race, but you are carrying someone else's luggage, you will eventually collapse. Jesus gave us a beautiful promise in Matthew 11:30 when He said that His yoke is easy and His burden is light. If a connection in your life feels like an anchor dragging you to the bottom of the ocean, it isn't in alignment with the Spirit. Godly relationships should push you toward your potential, not pull you into a pit of exhaustion. You also have to trust the check in your spirit. Sometimes a person looks perfect on paper. They might say the right things or seem kind, yet something deep inside you just feels off. You can't quite put your finger on it, but you feel guarded or restless around them. Don't dismiss that feeling as paranoia. In John 16:13, we are promised that the Spirit of truth will lead us into all truth. That inner discomfort is often the Holy Spirit acting as a spiritual radar, warning you of things your natural eyes cannot yet see. He sees the heart, and He will always try to navigate you away from hidden danger. Perhaps the most dangerous sign is when a relationship starts to dim your spiritual fire. Take an honest look at your life since this person became a part of it. Are you praying less? Are you compromising on your values just to keep them happy? If your focus on God is drifting because of who you are hanging out with, you are in a danger zone. Galatians 5:7 asks a very pointed question. You were running a good race. Who cut in on you to keep you from obeying the truth? When the wrong people are close to you, your spiritual growth doesn't just slow down, it can actually stop. God will remove those distractions because He loves you too much to let you miss your destiny. Sometimes, God uses the pain of rejection to save your life. We often cry over doors that won't open, not realizing that God is the one who locked them. Revelation 3:7 reminds us that when He shuts a door, no one can force it open. If you've tried everything to make a relationship work and it still falls apart, stop fighting the outcome. That breakdown might be a breakthrough in disguise. It is God's way of redirecting your steps toward the people who are actually equipped to handle your future. You should also look for a pattern of repeated warnings. God rarely moves without giving us a heads up. Maybe you've seen red flags that you've ignored, or maybe people you trust have tried to talk to you, but you weren't ready to listen. Proverbs 29:1 warns that ignoring correction leads to trouble. If the same problems keep coming up over and over again, God is trying to get your attention before the situation causes permanent damage. He is merciful, but He is also persistent. He will keep highlighting the issue until you are willing to face the truth. Finally, the ultimate confirmation usually comes after the person is gone. Have you ever noticed how, after a difficult breakup or a friendship ends, you suddenly feel like you can breathe again? The sting of the goodbye is replaced by a deep, refreshing sense of calm. Philippians 4:7 speaks of a peace that surpasses all understanding, and that peace is often the signature of God's approval. If your mind is quieter and your spirit is lighter, now that they are out of the picture, that isn't a coincidence. It is confirmation that God has restored your atmosphere. Remember, when God removes someone, He isn't trying to hurt you. He is trying to heal your path. He takes away the wrong things so that the right blessings have room to land. The real question is whether you will trust His hands more than your own feelings. Sometimes the very thing you are afraid to lose is the very thing that is holding you back. If this message reached your heart today, type the verse, "For my yoke is easy and my burden is light," in the comments. Let it be your public declaration that you are choosing to walk in God's rhythm and leave the heaviness behind. Use the word "release" in your comment to show you are ready for the new things He has in store. And make sure to subscribe so you never miss a word that helps you stay aligned with your divine purpose. You were made for more than a life of confusion. Trust the process of the pruning, because it always leads to a greater harvest.